Okay, let's just recap the order of events before we get into this, because I do not appreciate being gaslit. I have a lot of experience in this space, and I am not interested in participating in it. We all know somebody who creates drama, and then when everyone reacts to it,
why y'all acting like that?
Play like the victim. There are plenty of stories that we react to on these shows that are from anonymous sources, or reports from in the building, or former players that aren't in the locker room, or media members who have heard something. You were the one who said it. Right. You were in 4K saying that you had a problem, and then your teammate said that you two weren't friends. This didn't come from an outside source. This didn't come from an anonymous report. Right. It was you saying it. Right. So who's criticizing it? I have a really great memory, right? I'm a woman is what I do. Okay, we just keep these ready to go. Let's pull out this receipt. This receipt is the receipt of the show that we sit on every single day talking. We were not talking about the passing game for the Eagles. You remember talking about the passing game for the Eagles before they started talking about the Eagles passing game? Nope. We were talking about Saquon Barkley. We were talking about how Jalen Hurts is not turning the ball over. We were talking about how what a dominant team they look, how much their defense has improved. We weren't talking about this. Even if there were some questions about if they need to throw the ball more, be a little more balanced, you were winning. So you created the problem and then got mad at the people who reacted to the problem which you created. Right.
And you know, and I'm telling you, it made me start rethinking this whole situation and started saying, wow. Because remember, when AJ posted a joker, when all of it went viral, they changed this thing to a joker, and you came in saying, I'm done with these athletes in this social media stuff. What does the joker mean? Are you guys joking? Then I started, did you guys plan this? Are you trying to make the coach throw? Did Jalen tell you to say something? You know what I mean? Because now you're all buddies and, hey, that's what, you see what I mean? Did you plan this to get Jalen into a MVP conversation because he hadn't been throwing the ball? I mean, did he want to throw the ball some more?
So this
because
was all plans?
We're not putting him in the MVP. We're not talking about A.J. Brown as the top receiver because you're not throwing the football. And week 13 and 14, you had 9 receptions, 109 yards. Week 15, you got 8 receptions, 110 yards, all by yourself. You see what I'm saying? So they wanted to do this. Now, I shall warn them on this. This is, you must keep the main thing the main thing. This was a great night out with the side chick. But your wife is the running game. You got to marry. What you married to is the running game. Right. You take that to the Super Bowl. If you think you can side chick yourself to the Super Bowl, that ain't going to happen. You are not. You can throw the ball as your side to your side chick. But your wife, Saquon, you hand that ball off to Saquon, and that's how you get there. If you try to make the side chick, the wife, you going to fail. Just like so many others have out there. I'm just saying, you know, I don't mean to
So to be clear, in this scenario, A.J. Brown is the side chick and Saquon is the wife.
Oh, he's a beautiful side chick, but he's a side chick.
Well, I mean, usually they are. Why would you have one if they weren't?
And Jalen's a beautiful wife. Right. But Saquon, you got to go with the wife.
So
to get to the Super Bowl.
What's Devontae Adams?
Oh, Devontae Smith?
I mean, Smith.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith, the side chick friend.
We like relationship analogies.
I'm trying to think. I feel like everything was going so smooth. It's been a smooth ride for the last 2 months for Philly.
Right.
And they created their own adversity.
Correct.
So they can respond to their their own adversity that they created. Right. You know, things are just going too smooth. It don't even seem like the Philly kind of way. You know, so I mean, whatever you need to motivate yourself.
I mean,
but that is a reality. That
like
really
Michael
is.
Jordan last dance, like we don't have enough going on. We need to kind of
create some adversity.
Things are going a little too smooth.
Self-sabotage some things to create the adversity, put the light back on. That is.
Things were getting a little stale. We needed to spice things up, have a little fight.
That's what it seemed like.
Bring back the fire.
And refocus. Because I said it. Now, listen, that's the most important thing was early success. Yeah. Because if you speak it, oh, there's nothing wrong, we good. And you have early success, you can say, see, I told y'all we good. But now, you go in there and you say, oh, we're good, and you're not having early success, then you start saying, oh, man, this thing really is not working, man. We really are falling apart. It's that self-fulfilling prophecy, and you do fall apart. So I believe this was a big win for the Philadelphia Eagles.
For sure. Are they the most complete team in the NFL?
I say so. I think so. When I see two very talented wide receivers. Yeah. You got the best running back right now in the National Football League. You can put Jalen Hurts, in top 6, 7 quarterbacks, 8 quarterbacks in the league. So you're right there. And his special talent of running, and you got that extra little thing called a tush-push that puts them over the top. Yeah, I'd say they're one of the most talented. Them and the Baltimore Ravens, one of the most talented teams.
You got a mobile quarterback who, could have some good days passing. I mean, probably a top 10 quarterback. You got probably the best running back. You got 2 of the best wide receivers, but
great diversity, a big receiver, and both of them are fast.
Yeah, but nobody is giving them credit for, or at least I haven't given credit, but their defense. I'm looking at, in their 10-game win streak, they've only given up over 20 points one time. One time in the last 10 games, and that was versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, scored 23 points on them. They've been a dominant defensive team. Yeah. So when you look at it from top to bottom, they can run, they can pass, mobile quarterback, can make plays out the pocket. You can win when you don't play well. It's hard to argue that they're not, especially after seeing Detroit lose, because I thought Detroit was the most well-rounded team, but
and Detroit's one of them, right? But they're banged up pretty good.
They banged up pretty bad right now. So I would have to say the Eagles. They have no weaknesses.
I think they're the most complete team. Obviously, Detroit has looked to be dominant this entire year, but things change very quickly, and they are dealing with a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the ball, which was already the side of the ball that everyone was worried about. So I think the Eagles just this week have ascended for me over the Lions because of that. And whether if both teams are fully healthy, what they would look like, I don't know. But right now, this is what it is. So I think they are the most complete team. They're healthy. They do have some issues in the passing game, but they've shown that even if they're having issues in the passing game, when they lean into it, they can have some success. And let's not act like that was an easy Steelers team to beat. While the offense did not look great at all yesterday because Philly's defense is so good, the Steelers do have a good defense, and they are a prepared team. So for them to be able to have that performance after talking all week about how much they need to get to the ball to A.J. Brown, what they did with Saquon, obviously holding him to only 65 yards, was really important. So the Bills are giving up too many points. The Lions have so many injuries. The Ravens, to me, have been up and down all season. The Chiefs are challenged offensively and obviously are now dealing with an injury to Patrick Mahomes. Overall, I think the Eagles are the most complete team. And being in the situation to be healthy at the end of the year, sometimes we have teams that are extremely talented. They have great moments throughout the season, and then they fall apart at the end of the year health-wise, and that just ends up being the story of the season, which is unfortunate and, out of their control. But going healthy into the postseason, with whatever version of healthy people are at this point in the year, is important. You don't want to be on your, third-string guys.
But when you have that more complete team that we're talking about, you have just a tad bit of room. Like, if something does slow down A.J. Brown, you got a Devontae Smith that can make those plays.
Yeah,
a team that don't have that, then that's a whole, so you don't have that leeway on the injury. That's why when we talk the complete team, that's what they are. They can beat you in many ways.
Well, on the losing side of the Battle of Pennsylvania, the Steelers suffered their second defeat with Russell Wilson as their starting quarterback. Russ finished with only 128 passing yards and a fumble in the loss. It was only the 4th time a Steelers defense has allowed 27 or more points this season. So, Paul, how bad was this loss for the Steelers?
Not a bad loss at all. I mean, you talk about they probably lost to the best team in the NFL. We just said they have no weaknesses.
On the road, right? They were on the road.
On the road. And so this is not a bad loss. In my eyes, a bad loss is losing. When they lost to the Cleveland Browns 4 weeks ago, that was a bad loss for me. But there's no shame in losing to an Eagles team who's won 10 in a row now, who is playing at the height of their superpowers right now. There's no shame in that. Hey, listen, you have these games this late in the season, and they're measuring stick games. But I'll look at their schedule. You got Baltimore coming up, Kansas City Chiefs coming up, and you end with the Cincinnati Bengals, who just running up the scoreboard over the last 4 weeks. So they have a tough schedule ahead of them. But it's not a bad loss at all. I mean, you're on the road, Philadelphia, no shame in that.
I don't think it was a bad loss either. The offense was disappointing. Pickens was out, so I'm not sure that anyone can react to it that much. He was out. It's on the road. The Eagles are arguably the best team in the league right now. I mean, you don't want any kind of moral victories or anything right now. Like it's a loss, and you're gonna have to bounce back. And now you have the Ravens next week, so that's not very exciting to go into. What's concerning for me is the offense looking that way. Obviously, you would like for them to be able to elevate past losing, a player like that. But he's obviously an important piece to their offense being successful. So not too much to react to, but it could compound, which is the concern.
Right, and I love how Coach Tomlin snuffed that out right away when the reporter asked, "Are you worried about this being the beginning of a real downfall?" It's one loss. Don't make it bigger than it is. And he's talking to his team with all of that. Now, I said this. I used one line in my graduation speech. I said, life's about steps and stairs. We got to take all the steps on one and master one level, and then as soon as you master that, you got to take the stairs and go to the next level and do it all over again. Yep. And that's kind of what this season has been. Early on, they won with Justin Fields, but then he thought he needed more to take it to the next level. After they cleared them steps, took the steps. They got him. I got Russ out there, and they put more points on the board. Now they mastered this level. Now they're going to the top of the competition in this league. They played last night. They played very good, I thought, the other day, outside of the few mistakes, and Mike Tomlin talked about that. The few mistakes. That fumble, they don't make that fumble. They go down. They tie that game 20-20. That's a whole different game. Remember, Philly jumped out 17-3. Mm-hmm. They withstood that. Yeah. They withstood Philly at home coming off the mess. So Philly had to give you everything, and I told you they had to give you everything, and they had to do it early. They withstood it, and without that fumble right there, this could have been a different game. Yeah. And without George Pickens, you get 128 yards. It's not just without George Pickens. That means we took the best thing we have in the passing game out of the game, because what he does is exactly what's great with what Russell does. So it's no longer in the game. That deep ball, you take him to 210 yards, this might be a different game. Yeah. So I don't feel bad if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers. I lock down, get loaded, and get ready for this stretch run, because this is a lot of practice towards what you'll see in the playoffs. You're going to see Baltimore. You're going to see Kansas City. That's what I would do.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.